girl in 7th grade. She was from Dominican Republic. They had a culture of the older men taking little girls for their own pleasure. At the age of like 14, 15, they would take girls. They had no respect for children. You think that Ethiopian culture is very different, or is not very, doesn't have a good perspective. So this girl was 14 years old. She had been molested by all these adult men since she was little. And when we found out, we reported it to Child Services. She was in 7th grade. I remember it was in the afternoon, and the father found out that we reported him to Child Services. He came to the school to take her before Child Services found him. He had already brought a ticket to put her on a plane to get her out of the country because he thought that we were violating his culture. What most of us don't realize is that your parents have heard these things. And as a parent, you get to understand that these things are real, that they exist. And so I would never send my daughter to somebody's house that I don't know to spend the night, because I don't know what that father is thinking. Because that father, this was a beautiful girl, beautiful. She had been molested so many times. So what if I send my daughter to somebody's house to spend the night and the father is some type of molester? It's not that they have trust issues. It's not about you that they don't trust. It's that we understand that the world is not what children see. Children see a world that is simple. Children, when you're a child, you see the world through the eyes of a child. When you become an adult and you realize what's going on, you start to try and protect your children from that world. And so that's why that culture exists. We don't send our kids to other people's homes because we're afraid that the culture that's at that house at that night, what if you're in the bed sleeping at somebody's house and the father comes and gets in the bed with you? What do you do? What are you going to do? Tell me. Scream? Run? You're going to call your parents, right? Maybe when you're a child, what you'll think is, oh, I'm embarrassed. People would think I did something to make this happen to me, and you be quiet about it. That's how those kinds of things happen. So most Habesha parents, because they know that these things exist, they only let you go to somebody that they know. Because they know them, they understand what kind of behavior they have, and they try and keep you guys, away from it. The best thing to do is take from your parents, that when you raise your children, you do the same. When you raise your children, you don't let them go to anybody's house. Because there are people who have different types of behavior. Because we live to our soul, so that our soul can get into heaven. They live for their flesh, so that their flesh can get pleasure. They don't care about anything that's right or wrong, many people. And so you don't realize that your parents were trying to protect you. My children have never slept at anyone's house. Maybe 2 or 3 people. They've been at their houses. And it's not because of, because I don't trust my children. It's because I don't trust the people with my children. Doesn't that make more sense? Yeah. So that's like one of those things that you have to realize, that right now you guys are parents in training. You realize that, right? How old is the youngest in here? Youngest is what age? 16. Definitely parents in training. Parents in training. That's what 16 to 24 means. Parents in training. It does not mean teenager. That is such an American idea.